You're listening to the Options Insider Radio Network. For more quality options programs, visit www.theoptionsinsider.com or search for Options Insider Radio Network in your podcast provider of choice. Listeners can also access all of our programming through our mobile app, available in iTunes and on Google Play.
The options market can be a confusing place. Sorting through the daily avalanche of data, alerts, updates, articles, and analysis to find the most important information is an overwhelming prospect. But now you have help. Welcome to the Options News Rundown, the only program that breaks through the noise to bring you the most important news and information from the world of options. Every day, we bring you the top 5 option stories curated by the options experts at theoptionsinsider.com, the premier source for options information. The Options News Rundown is brought to you by Market Taker Mentoring, the leader in options trading education. Get trader education, daily trade ideas, and more with a free 1-week trial of Market Taker Mentoring's Live Advantage Group coaching class by visiting markettaker.com/insider. And now it's time to break through the noise. It's time for your Options News Rundown.
Good morning. Today is Tuesday, April 23rd, 2019. This is your Options News Rundown. I'm Dan Passarelli. Our first story of the day is from investing.com. It is the top 5 things to know in the market on Tuesday. The first is oil hovers near 2019 highs after U.S. ends waivers on Iran sanctions. Oil traded higher on Tuesday, hitting fresh 6-month highs after the White House confirmed that it will not extend waivers for countries that had previously allowed them to purchase Iranian crude. We will no longer grant exemptions, U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo said on Monday, paving the way for Washington to begin imposing economic penalties against companies or financial institutions that purchase Iranian oil when current waivers expire on May 2nd. Most analysts expect the move to further tighten supply, pushing prices higher, although Pompeo insisted that the U.S. has been in constant discussions with allies and partners to find alternative sources of oil. Ellen Wald, non-resident senior fellow at the Global Energy Center of the Atlantic Council, said the United States seems to expect Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates to replace the Iranian oil, but she added that this is not necessarily the way Saudi Arabia sees it. At 5:09 a.m. Eastern, U.S. crude futures gained 50 cents or 0.8% to $66.05, just off an intraday peak of $66.19, its highest level since October 31st, while Brent oil rose 46 cents or 0.6% to $74.50, pulling back from its intraday high of $74.69, prices not seen since November 1st. The second thing to know today is earnings rev up with Twitter and other bellwether stocks. The earnings avalanche begins in earnest Tuesday as Twitter and a string of blue chip companies report earnings throughout the day. Well, typically before or after the close, but Twitter reports ahead of the bell. Those earnings are out. We'll talk more about that in a moment. Analysts expected a profit of 15 cents per share on revenue of about $774 million, according to forecasts compiled by investing.com. Dow components will also be out in force with reports from Coca-Cola, Procter & Gamble, United Technologies, and Verizon, along with other big-name companies such as Lockheed Martin, Texas Instruments, and eBay. With 86 of the S&P 500 companies already having reported earnings, 77% have beaten profit estimates on 5.3% growth. This is according to the Earnings Scout. However, earnings for the entire group are expected to register their first decline since 2016. What we can infer from the early 2019 Q1 reporters is Q2 S&P 500 earnings per share growth estimates could be going below zero within 2 to 3 weeks. Earnings Scout warned. The third thing to note today is U.S. futures were flat this morning ahead of the open, ahead of earnings, so I guess that was much earlier this morning. U.S. futures pointed to a muted open as a wait-and-see mode took control of markets ahead of key earnings reports and the data on the U.S. gross domestic product, which will be released on Friday. The fourth thing to note today is housing market data. Housing market data is in focus on a light economic calendar. On the economic calendar, attention will remain focused on the state of the U.S. real estate market, following a worse-than-expected drop in existing home sales reported a day earlier. The Commerce Department will report on March new home sales at 10 a.m. Eastern. Expectations are for the sales of new homes to have declined 3% last month to an annual rate of 647,000, offsetting a portion of the climb seen in February. Also on the docket, the government will report its house price index for February at 9 a.m. Eastern, with economists predicting a month-on-month rise of 0.6%, matching the increase seen in the previous month. The fifth thing to note today is European banks slump as ECB member dampens hopes for more aid. European bank shares, such as Germany's Deutsche Bank and Commerzbank, France's Société Générale, and BNP Paribas, Spain's BBVA, and Santander, and Italy's Unicredit, all registered a sharp decline of more than 1% on Monday, as European Central Bank policymaker dampened expectations for more aid to the financial sector. ECB board member Benoit Coeur said he saw no reason for creating a tiered deposit rate that exempts banks from part of an ECB charge on their idle cash. The interest rate on the deposit facility is currently a negative 0.4%. In a recent interview, Coeur also suggested that the upcoming round of multi-year low-cost loans to banks should not be as generous as the previous issue. Our second story today is from investing.com. Also, crypto wrap is what it is. Bitcoin rises after Easter low, and Serena Williams invests in Coinbase. Cryptocurrencies have risen over the last 7 days as tennis player Serena Williams announced her investment company has invested in digital platform Coinbase. The four-time Olympic gold medal winner announced on Instagram that her investment company, Serena Ventures, has invested in over 30 companies, including Coinbase. Launched in 2014, Serena Ventures invests in companies that embrace diverse leadership, individual empowerment, creativity, and opportunity, Williams said via Instagram. The company has a market cap of $12 billion, according to its website. And our final story today comes by way of NASDAQ.com via Reuters, apparently. Gold holds a near 4-month low on firm dollar and risk sentiment. Gold prices inched back towards last week's 4-month low on Tuesday as a firmer dollar and ongoing preference for riskier assets took the sheen off the metal traditionally seen as a safe haven. Spot gold was 0.14% lower at $1,272.89 per ounce by 10:14 Greenwich Mean Time. U.S. gold futures trimmed 0.2%. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is news you can use for today, Tuesday, April 23rd, 2019, your Options News Rundown. I'm Dan Passarelli, Trade Smart, and have a great day.
The Options News Rundown is brought to you by Market Taker Mentoring, the leader in options trading education. Get trader education, daily trade ideas, and more with a free 1-week trial of Market Taker Mentoring's Live Advantage Group coaching class by visiting markettaker.com/insider.
The The preceding program was a production of the Options Insider Radio Network. For more quality options programs, visit www.theoptionsinsider.com or search for Options Insider Radio Network in your podcast provider of choice. Listeners can also access all of our programming through our mobile app, available in iTunes and on Google Play. Don't forget to follow along with your favorite programs and submit your own questions for the hosts at twitter.com/options, facebook.com/theoptionsinsider, or via questions at theoptionsinsider.com.